Hi guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today we're going to be talking about the Hollyland Lark 150. Now when you guys hear the brand Hollyland, at least when I do, I think of wireless video transmission. They are really well known for making transmitters and receivers for cameras to send signal wirelessly, which is great for any live streamer or vlogger that wants to actually send stuff straight to the internet or send something live and not have all the extra wires. So that is when I think Hollyland, that's what I think. But they've come out with this Lark 150. It is a wireless transmitter and receiver audio system, and it is pretty awesome. So it comes in a case. When I think about this case, I think of like AirPods, Apple's AirPod Pros, where the device goes into the case charges the device, and then you just have to charge the case every so often. So the really cool thing is you can take out both the transmitter and receivers. So you get two transmitters, one receiver here. And one thing I absolutely love about this system is that as soon as you pull it out, they just automatically connect. So I pull out the receiver, I pull out a transmitter and close the case, and now these two are completely connected, and it is actually receiving audio and then transmitting it to the receiver here. So I absolutely love that about this system. So, and you just pop it back in here and it goes back to charging. And just to kind of go over the kind of range that you're going to get with these. They claim 300 feet. You can get that 300 feet, but the transmitter and receiver need to have line of sight. Nothing can get in the way. Mainly you need to be in a big open field and where they can just physically see each other. And you're probably going to get that 300 feet pretty comfortably. It cut in and out for me when I tested that. I really found that 60 to 100 feet was more realistic. Again, getting that 65 to 100 feet allowed for them not to have a direct line of sight. Of course, it's not going to go through a wall, but like if you're in a big open room and the transmitter, person that had the transmitter on them, like turned away from the receiver of the camera, it's still going to send that signal at 65 to 100 feet. For some people, that may be great for weddings. That is the one thing that I've seen a few reviews of people talking about using these for weddings. While these systems are amazing, I do not believe in using any type of wireless audio for weddings, because if that signal has any interference in it, and I'm not saying it has anything to do with Hollyland or any other system out there, there's a million different things that can cause signal interruptions, and if that happens, you're not going to have that nice clean audio for your bride and groom. So I am really anti-wireless anything when it comes to weddings, unless I absolutely have to do that. And I shoot about 30 to 40 weddings a year, so I'm a big fan of the Tascam. DR10L is what we use here, and we're going to talk about the audio quality of the Tascam versus the audio quality of the Hollyland here in a minute. So let's go over a few of the charging things, just kind of get some of the basic specs out of the way, and then we'll really dive into my true thoughts about this system. So as far as the charging is concerned, with the transmitters, so these little bad boys right here, you'll get about 4.5 hours of usage out of them, and then it takes about an hour and a half to charge these up. As well with the receiver right here, we'll get about 2.5 hours of usage out of this, and it takes about 2 hours to charge it up. And then the case itself will give you 2.5 charges. So this case will charge everything inside of it 2.5 times. And then it only takes about 2.5 hours to charge the case itself. It does use USB-C, so it allows for faster charging. And you can also do firmware updates, which is really nice as firmware updates come out. And when they come out, it makes it really easy to plug it in your computer and get that update. So let's talk a little bit about everything it comes with. You get two little wind. You get two little lavaliers. You get one for your camera, one for your phone. So if you're plugging directly into your phone, and yes, this will work with your smartphone. So that's another really nice positive thing, is being able to use your smartphone. And then you get a few extra wind filters, pop filters there to add to the lav mics. Again, going back inside, we automatically connect here. Now you do have a microphone on this little guy, so I could like talk to this and it's going to receive it and then send it to the camera, but I'm going to tell you right now, the audio on that is not very impressive. So unless you absolutely have to, and this is your only option, you could just like take it, clip it to your shirt, and you would have an option if you forget your lav. However, if you've got your lav, go on and use your lav, the audio is going to be much higher quality. As well, you do have monitoring, so you are able to monitor audio, which is really nice. I usually monitor it through the camera itself, but you do have that option to actually monitor audio, which is really, really nice. Now, there isn't a lot of buttons and functions on this, which I really like. It makes it very, very straightforward and simplistic. You get stereo, you get mono, and then you get the stereo where it gives you -6 dB. So pretty much it would record on one track at a higher level and another track 6 dB less, so that if you do have a peak or a spike while you're doing an interview, you can switch over to that audio and it's going to be nice and clean, and it's not going to be peaking to where you've got that screeching sound from the audio because someone's talking way too loud, which I absolutely love about this system. So there really isn't much. There is a power button on this, and there is of course your line out so that you can go out of here into your camera. I use the Sony A7R III and the Sony A7 III, and what I do is I drop the audio levels way down on the Sony, and then work on the audio levels here. The other nice thing is that you can control the levels on both the left and right channels. Say you're doing stereo. While you're shooting, if you're monitoring the audio, you do have the option to actually use these little wheels, and you can actually control the audio levels if you need to. So if you have a really quiet speaker and a really loud speaker and you're doing an interview, you can actually adjust the audio per device so that it will even out, and so that your loudspeaker, you'll bring them down a little bit, and your quiet speaker, you'll bring them up a little bit. There isn't a lot of noise. There's a little bit of noise, but if you throw a denoiser on there, it cleans it up perfectly, and the audio sounds fantastic. So, like I said, that's one of the things I really, really love about this system, is that it makes it super simplistic to use. It is like plug and play. You pull it out, you hook it up, you figure out if you're going to do 1 or 2 channels, then you figure out if you want to go mono or stereo, or what I always do is the option where it has -6 dB, so therefore it records it at a higher level, or your normal level, and then 6 dB less, so that you have a backup audio channel or level that you can go jump over to if someone peaks and you have distortion in your audio. So absolutely love that option. So you just pop them back into here. Now, the system does run, I think, about $275 to $300 USD. So just to make that as a mention, at the price point, I think it's excellent if this is what you need. Now, again, if you're going to do something like a wedding, then I would seriously look at a wired system, or a system, like I said, like the DR10Ls here, where it just records the audio right into a micro SD. And then that way that there is no way for audio lossage, right? Unless the groom or the officiant, takes it off and doesn't use it at all behind my back, right? So this is still the best option for weddings, I think. But for everything else, our YouTube videos, we've been using this for. We've used it for some of our professional interviews, because it is so easy to just plug and play and go. And the quality is really, really excellent. So let's talk about a few things that I'm not crazy about. One last thing I really do like is that the clips that they built into the bottom should be the same size as your hot shoe. So the really cool thing is that you can take a clip and you can slide it into your cold shoe or hot shoe on your device, so that you don't have to add another attachment, so that you can attach it to like your camera. It's got that clip built in. Now, some people have complained that it's a little tight or a little loose, depending on which camera they're using. With the Sonys, it works perfectly. I slide it in, I clip it on, we're good to go. So a few things that I think could be improved on. Now, I have not tried another lav mic. This lav mic has done great for me, but I did watch a handful of YouTube reviews, and a lot of I would say, people that know audio better than I do, because I am no audio expert. I would say those people, they all kind of mentioned that you can buy a nicer lav mic that will work with the system. So it still does the transmission and receiving of great audio, but you can improve the audio with a more expensive lav mic. So that's something that you're kind of being held back on. If you have this system, look at buying a nicer lav mic. So that is the thing. So I guess that would be a dislike, or like if they could make it a better quality audio mic, but at the same time, you're looking at under $300 for this whole entire system. I remember 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even 10 or 15, like going way back when they first started coming out with good wireless audio systems, they started out at anywhere from $600 to $800 and went up from there. So we've really gotten great audio at a much cheaper price than it was 4 or 5 years ago. So I really like this system. And then my other big dislike, and this is one that I've talked to the company about, and we're hopefully going to be working on coming up with a solution for it, is if you notice, I have all of this stuff right here, right? So this is all my edited stuff. These are my lav mics, my extra pieces here, my cords, and then I have this, right? I want all of this to be packaged with this. So I find it frustrating that I have to take another little tiny case with this. What I think that they should do is build some kind of system that would go up on the top of this case or off to the sides of this case, or maybe even in the front with a zipper or something, to where I could fit all of my pieces of the device all around the case somehow and still keep it compact. So that, you know, while that's not like a deal breaker by any means, I really do feel like that it would be nice to be able to compact all this into this case somehow. They do have like a little pocket here in the back where you could like put your wind filters in and stuff. So you know, but again, or you could maybe fit one of these cords and this pop filter, right? But it's a tight fit, and it doesn't even go down all the way. So I really would like an option to be able to keep all this together. So I'm not having 2 cases every time that I'm shooting with these. So I guess the next step would be to hook this bad boy up so you guys can hear the difference. Now, this whole entire video up to this point, again, we have used the DR10L right here. And so that's what's been capturing that audio. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hook up this audio and we're going to do stereo. So you guys can actually hear what one of these mics actually sounds like. And then we'll kind of jump back and forth between that and the DR10L so you can kind of hear the difference and make a decision for yourself. Again, I am a huge fan of this at the price point. You know, it's an excellent system, especially if you need that wireless option. This very well could be that option for you because it's so lightweight and compact and so easy to maneuver with. So let's check out this audio. All right, we now have the Lark 150 hooked up and you guys are listening to it right now. If you notice, it is this guy right here. And then we have the Tascam system over here. I guess it would be my left, your guy's right. And then we have on my right, your guy's left, we will have the Hollyland system. So as you guys can hear, what I did is you guys probably noticed a little bit of B-roll. Sorry that it was so shaky. I was literally holding my iPhone to get that shot since I didn't have an extra set of hands. But one thing I wanted to show you guys is that I adjusted the levels lower on the Sony so that I could adjust the levels higher on the Hollyland system. I find that there's less noise that way. If you bring the Sony levels up higher and drop the Hollyland system, you get more noise, right? But again, if you're using Adobe Premiere, type in denoiser under your effects, drop that in, and it should magically fix any noise issues. That's why I really like this system, is that even though there's a little bit of noise in it, with denoiser, you don't have to really do any tweaks with denoiser. You just drag and drop it right onto the audio clip, and it seems to really clean it up and fix it. So that's something that I was really, really happy with. We have used this a lot for our media unlocked videos. So the tilt shift, 90 millimeter tilt shift macro lens review that we just came out with, and we were down in the Smoky Mountains and we were testing out the Canon R5 that B&H sent us. Again, both of those videos were shot almost, I think, 100% using the Hollyland system here. We didn't use the Tascam system or any of the other multiple audio systems that I have here at the house. It was all the Hollyland system, and we were super impressed with it. And another thing that we absolutely loved is, again, going back to how simplistic it is to run and gun with this, right? Now, a thing that people have mentioned that does not bug me is that they get really upset they cannot replace this with batteries. I am so structured and organized and disciplined that when it comes to stuff like this, the chances of this running out of battery before I get it charged is slim to none, unless I am literally shooting all day. And then I'll have backup audio for that. But I constantly will charge these as I use them so that they've always got the full charge. And there's no way, again, going back to my list, because I've literally tested all how long the battery lasts. I just don't have it memorized, but that's why I had to put it down on a piece of paper for me. But again, if the transmitter and receiver, if you're using them non-stop, you're gonna tap out on the receiver at 2.5 hours. I'm not shooting for 2.5 hours, hardly ever straight audio. That would be a nightmare for editing. And I know some of you filmmakers out there and maybe some corporate people, like that's like an everyday thing for you. While I'm not gonna turn down good money, I prefer not that to be an everyday thing for me where I'm sitting there shooting hours of video and footage, and I've got to sit there and cut all that up into something for the client. While, again, not against it, it's not the most fun thing in the world, and I don't do a lot of that type of work. I do a lot of smaller 2, 3, 4, 5-minute interviews that maybe we're running audio, for anywhere from 5 to 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour and a half over a 2 or 3 hour period. So this is gonna get me through that, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Again, a lot of times I'm doing single audio interviews. So again, if the one dies, that pop it in the case. It charges 2.5 times. So if your case is fully charged, oh look, woo, we'll just automatically connect this guy right here. So that's the really nice thing, is that I can just switch devices out. And if I'm doing 2 people and I really do have that long, then I'll just go charge it. But that is not a drawback for me, is the fact that I cannot put a battery in it. So anyways, guys, this is my review of the Hollyland Lark 150. Big fan of it for the price. As always, guys, there'll be a link down below, and we'll catch you next time.
Let's go.